What's up, family? It's Jay Jones, host of Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, the podcast, and I just want to share a great opportunity with you. If your business is struggling, you're not able to generate the revenues and profits that you really want to generate, then I invite you to join me in my 3X Mastermind group. So you can go to 3xmastermind.com. That's the number 3, the letter X, mastermind.com. And this is an accelerated mastermind group that's going to give you a blueprint to triple your revenues in 2023. No smoke and mirrors, no BS, but tried and true strategies to triple your revenues. Now, in this mastermind group, it's limited seating. So go to 3xmastermind.com to learn more if you're interested. The dates for the sessions are November 30th, December 7th, and December 14th from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it is only an investment of $97 total for all 3 sessions. And the greatest benefit is when you come out of that mastermind, you're going to have a customized blueprint on how to triple your revenues in 2023. So if you're not happy with where your business is and you want to increase your revenues and profits, go to 3xmastermind.com to learn more. We have limited seating, which is almost up. So if you are interested, please act now. See you at 3xmastermind.com. Welcome to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, the #1 podcast and resource for Black entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and Black Entrepreneur Blueprint was created specifically to educate and inspire Black entrepreneurs to launch, build, and grow successful, sustainable businesses. Join us as we help build an economic power base in the worldwide Black community by building and supporting Black-owned businesses. If you're currently an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur, you're invited to join us each and every week here at Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Welcome to the BEB family and get ready to elevate your entrepreneur IQ. Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, episode number 441. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and today we have another outstanding and informative show in store for you. Today's show topic is don't let your entrepreneur dreams die. Don't let your entrepreneur dreams die. Now today, guys, I just want to talk to you and give you some encouragement. So I'm not really going to give you any actionable steps per se, but I'm going to give you some food for thought. You see, many times we end up living a life totally different from what we expected. Our dreams have been dashed by life itself, by circumstances, real or imagined, and sometimes it's our mindset that actually kills our dreams or for entrepreneurship. So on today's show, guys, I'm going to speak from the heart, which I always do, and I'm going to give you some encouragement that you may need to keep your entrepreneurial dreams alive. You may be in a situation where your business isn't as successful as you want it to be. You could be in a situation where your business is about to fail, or you failed before, and trust me, I've been there and done that, and you're scared to get back up on the horse. Or it could be that you want to start a business, but you haven't done it yet because you don't feel confident that you can be successful. Whatever the reason is, guys, we're going to talk about don't let your entrepreneur dreams die. Before we jump into today's content, I just want to share a few things with the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint family. First and foremost, I want to welcome all first-time listeners to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Welcome to the BEB family. Please stick around until the end of today's broadcast, and I'm going to share all my social media contact information and resource links, such as the link to my latest book, A New Black Wall Street, Circulating the Black Dollar Worldwide by Building Successful E-Commerce Businesses, 2 platforms I've created to help circulate dollars in the worldwide Black community, BeSmartByBlack.com and HireBlackFreelancers.com. We're getting new platforms for them, so if you go there and you're interested in being on the platforms, just leave your name and email address. Also, don't forget BEB Academy. You get 3 days free access to the Academy, which is an online learning portal which allows you to get access to online courses, master classes, resources, PDF downloads, and everything necessary to help you elevate your entrepreneur IQ and build your business. Last but not least, if you're interested in scaling your business for 2023, go to 3xmastermind.com. Learn more. You heard the ad at the beginning of today's show. It starts November 30th, so if you're interested, please act now. All right, let's get ready for today's show, guys. Don't let your entrepreneur dreams die. Don't let your entrepreneur dream die. So the way this show actually started, guys, I was listening to one of my favorite songs, and it's a song called Fast Car by Tracy Chapman. And I think it was made in 86. It's a very old song, but it's a beautiful song. And it's a sad song because it talks about two young kids that are getting out of high school. They want to get married and they have these great dreams for a great life. But as it turns out, life didn't turn out the way that they wanted to. They got married. They had kids. It sounds like the father and the husband was an alcoholic. And basically it didn't turn out well. And it's funny because that song, I've played that since it came out in 86. It's one of my favorite albums. And I got an eclectic taste in music. So I like all types of music. But it's an amazing song. And I was coming back, forgot where I was coming back from. But I was just listening to this song and I'm like, man, people need to follow their dreams and they don't need to let their entrepreneur dreams die. And so this is what today's show is based on, Fast Car by Tracy Chapman. And I'm going to do something that I usually don't do at the end of a show. If you've never heard the song, I'm going to play it as my outro. So hold on tight. If you've never heard Fast Car, make sure you listen to the words. Before we also jump in, guys, I was doing research for the show and I saw an amazing quote by Stuart Scott. And Stuart Scott was a sportscaster for ESPN, one of the first black sportscasters. And unfortunately, he passed away several years ago due to cancer. But I saw one of his quotes, and this is what it said. And this is after he found out that he had cancer. It said, "Don't downgrade your dream just to fit it into your reality. Upgrade your conviction to match your destiny." It's powerful. Don't downgrade your dream just to fit your reality. Upgrade your conviction to match your destiny. So what he's saying is level up, whatever your destiny is. And when you have that death sentence basically on you, your whole perception of things change. So, now we're comfortable if God willing, you guys are in good health who's listening to this, but you may have some people who aren't in good health and they start looking at the end. And what could they have done differently in their life? And a lot of times, guys, I'm going to tell you, if you let that entrepreneurial dream die, you're going to regret it until the last day that God has you on this earth. And so right now, my perspective is a little bit different versus when I was younger. So as I continue to age and get older, my perspective on things change. So as I get older now, I start to see life in a new perspective where I'm almost looking at it from now to the past versus now to the future. All right. So I'm looking at it backwards. I'm looking back at the past, what I've done versus really what I have in store in the future. Now, I know God has a lot in store for me in the future, but it's almost like a retrospective vision that I'm looking through, and I ask myself, what would my life be like if I let my dream die? And I think one of the reasons I can look back and, I'm still looking forward, but I do look back a lot is because that I've realized a lot of my dreams. I haven't got to exactly where I want to be yet. I'm always moving the mark because once you get complacent, then you actually are going backwards. There's no such thing as standing still. Either you're moving forward or you're going backwards. So I asked myself, what would life be like if I let my dream die? And that's really a hard thing to look at. So don't let that be you. And I'll tell you I told you guys, this is a different type of episode. So it's really just a heartfelt conversation that I want to have with you guys to give you some encouragement. But I'll tell you one thing that happened to my dad. My dad was an entrepreneur after he got out of college. He was successful for a while. He and his business partner were doing well with an insurance and real estate business. And when my dad sold his business, actually when my dad's partner, who was like his brother, wanted to move and had my dad buy out the business, my dad never really did an audit of the business. What he found out later was that his best friend from childhood was actually stealing from the business. And in those days, my uncle had, I call him my uncle, but it's my dad's best friend. He was the insurance person that handled all the life insurance, the health insurance and all that stuff. My dad did the real estate. In those days, when you were in the insurance industry, you would actually go by people's homes and collect the premiums. And then you would take the premiums and then send them into the insurance company. But what my uncle was doing was he was putting them premiums in Hip Pocket National. So when he eventually sold the business, his portion of the business to my dad, and he started getting all of these calls about, hey, my insurance got canceled, it lapsed, blah, blah, blah. He owed a ton of money back in those days, which was the late 60s, early 70s. He owed a ton of money, and he basically had to close the business down. And the only reason he didn't go to jail was because my great-grandfather, his grandfather, bailed him out to a tune at that time, I think it was like $50,000 or $60,000, which is probably equivalent to a couple $100,000 now. And one of my dad's biggest regrets, he always told me, was after that business failed, he never got back on the horse. He went back into corporate America, and he regretted it until the day he died. He was like, man, I was so shook from that experience. Things were going so well, I couldn't get back on the horse. And so that's something that I always kept with me. And so every time I failed or, things were going bad, I thought about what my dad told me. He had a very successful business, and something happened and he just couldn't recover. And so I never wanted that to be me. I always wanted to live to my fullest potential, take all the tools and skills that God has given me and use that to my greatest potential, not just to, make myself money, but to serve others. And so that's why we're talking about don't let your entrepreneur dream die. My dad died literally regretting that he never got back on the horse. And then I saw him doing jobs that, really he was overqualified for, he really didn't care about. And it was kind of sad when I look at it as an adult. He just didn't have the intestinal fortitude to get back on that horse. So when I almost lost it all twice, that was another reason that I kept pushing forward, because I didn't want that to happen to me. And what we're talking about is don't let your entrepreneur dream die. And today is really just it's a different type of episode. I'm just sharing with you guys. And I just want to give you some encouragement. So wherever you are in your business, you could be a prospective entrepreneur that's never pulled the trigger yet. You may have paralysis by analysis. This is for you. You could be a current entrepreneur that's not doing that well, thinking about quitting. This is for you. You could be a current entrepreneur that's doing okay, but your business could be doing much better. This is for you. Don't let these dreams die. Don't let these vampires suck the life out of you. Okay? So as I was mentioning, my perspective now is a lot different than when I was younger. So I probably have, I have less time to live than I've already lived now. I'm past that halfway point, unless I live to be 100 or whatever, but which I doubt that's going to happen. But so my perspective is a little different. So most people look to the future for things that they aspire to. Now, like I said, I do that also, but I never have to answer to myself for letting my entrepreneurial dreams die. And if you can't dream, guys, then you're already dead. Don't let people take your dream from you. Okay? So here's some facts real quick. As an entrepreneur, these things are going to happen. You're going to fail, but you have to keep pushing forward. Failure is part of the process. I just did an episode previously about that. Okay. Failure is part of the process. And I think it was episode number 439, was it? Yeah. If you're not failing, you're not trying. So if you're having issues with that, make sure you check out episode 439. So you're going to fail, but you got to keep pushing forward. You're going to have detractors, but you have to ignore them. And your detractors may sleep in the same bed with you. It could be your husband, your wife, your partner, your spouse, whatever. Could be your brother, your sister, your grandmom, your parents, or your closest friends. You're going to have detractors, but you have to ignore them. Remember, God gave you a specific vision. He didn't give it to anybody else. All right. You're going to have self-doubt, but you have to believe. Every entrepreneur, I don't care how successful they are now, has had doubt, myself included. I've had doubt on many occasions, and a lot of times it came from listening to other people. Man, you can't do that. How you think you're going to pull that off? And my mom always told me something that I live with this today. Remember the source. So remember the source of the information. So if somebody says you can't do this, you have to look, where's the source coming from? Are they an entrepreneur, or they're in corporate America and are scared to live their dream? What era do they come from? What do they believe in? Are they happy with their job? Do they hate on you? Are they a hater? Do they not want you to be successful because they're not successful? So these are some of the things that you have to deal with. Here's another fact. You're going to be scared, but you have to have courage. It's scary out there. You're walking a tightrope. So when you have a job, right, you normally have a paycheck every week, 2 weeks, every month, whatever, however often you get paid. When you go out on your own without income, you're on a tightrope. So it's scary. You have to become accustomed to not having a scheduled paycheck. OK, so being scared, guys, is part of the deal, but you just have to have courage. All right. You're going to want to quit, but you have to have faith. There's multiple times that I literally wanted to quit. I'm over there scratching my head saying, man, this is for the birds. I need to go get a job somewhere and get some money. And it's so crazy because I had done that before after my first business failed. And so when I went back to corporate, that just reminded me why I left in the first place. So you're going to want to quit, but you have to have faith. Now, if you need to make a move back to corporate or whatever, like I did, to stabilize yourself and come back out, that's something different. When I went back to corporate, I knew it was just to get some paper, stabilize myself, figure out my game plan, and then execute that game plan after I made that escape from the corporate plantation. Here's another fact. When your dream dies, family, a part of you dies. When your dream dies, a part of you dies. Literally, I was sitting in the truck with my dad the first time we talked about him giving up on his entrepreneurial dreams after that debacle with my uncle. And literally, I'm telling you, it looked like he wanted to cry. And he was just like, damn, man. He said, he said one of the things that really bothered him was that if everything went well and he got back on his horse, that he could have given the business to me and my brother and my sister, giving us a legacy. But he said because he didn't get back on that horse, there was no business to give us. And so when you think about this, it's not just about you. I say this all the time. It's about, hustling for your last name, not your first name. It's about legacy. It's about generational wealth. It's about building something that it's almost like you have to think of others before you think of yourself. So when you're an entrepreneur, you're going to get the heck beat out of you. You're going to get smacked around, kicked around. You may be getting smacked around in your own house when you come home because you don't have no money. That happened to me before while I was going through the process. But you have to remember what you're doing it for. And if you're doing it just for money, and most people do when they start off, that's cool. I get it. But then it becomes deeper. You're doing it for something else. You're doing it for legacy. If you have children, there's no love like the love of your children. You're doing it for your children's children. You're doing it so they don't have to go through the things that you went through. They don't have to eat bologna sandwiches two or three nights a week. I remember that when I was little. A lot of people listening probably remember that. Had them peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for dinner sometime. So remember, guys, when your dream dies, a part of you dies. And I saw that up close and personal with my dad. So this is really what I want to get to you guys. It's not easy. It's not designed to be easy. If it was that easy, everybody would do it. It takes a special kind of person to be a successful entrepreneur. And what you have to understand is you're not like a civilian. And when I say a civilian, that's somebody that works in corporate America. And I don't mean to demean anybody, because not everybody is built to be an entrepreneur or wants to be an entrepreneur. So when you're talking to civilians about your dreams, aspirations, and entrepreneurship, you're speaking a different language. Okay? That's why my mom always says, remember the source of your information. Why is somebody telling you this? What is their perspective? And so there's always an angle. Remember the source. Okay. Now, your dream. Remember, guys, this is your dream. It's nobody else's dream. God gave you this specific dream to be an entrepreneur, to start your own business, to be the biggest black CPA firm in the country, to do whatever your dream is. Okay, so remember, this dream was given to you, not to anybody else. So don't expect other people to quickly jump on the bandwagon and be like, yo, yeah, that's hot. Yeah, we know you can do it. First thing they're going to think about is, number one, the reasons why you can't do it. Okay, they may not tell you that, but that's the first thing they're going to think about. Yo, can this dude pull this off or not? Then they're going to start thinking about, well, damn, he's trying this, how's that make me look? A lot of times it's all about the ego and the personal things. People don't want to see you succeed many times because they don't have the guts and the intestinal fortitude to go out there and try it on their own. So remember, this is your dream. So many of your detractors, guys, are going to be jealous of you. So you have to remember that. And it's crazy. If you've ever been in a relationship, like when you're younger, I've been married for years now, decades now, but you ever been in a relationship and your boy is like, yeah, man, she all right or whatever, but deep down inside, he really wants to get with her. So the stuff that he's telling you about her and all of that type of stuff, you got to remember the source. And so this is your dream. Don't let anybody steal your dream. I don't care who it is. My wife and I, when we got married, and I tell this story all the time, and this is good for entrepreneurs that have a spouse or partner or whatever, we butted heads because she wasn't from the entrepreneur space. Her parents weren't. They were both in education, and really nobody in her family was an entrepreneur. And so it's a different language. So your risk tolerance is different. Your mindset is different. You're going to give up today to hope to gain in the future. Whereas a lot of civilians, they want the steady, month after month, week after week income. And I get it. Been there, done that. And I'm not knocking either one. And I'm not saying one is better than the other. But you have to understand who you are. This is how I'm built. I used to go into corporate America and I damn near felt like a caged lion. I jump back into corporate, try to reorganize and get my crap together to make another run for the border, to the Underground Railroad. And while I'm there, I'm saying to myself, what am I doing? Why am I even here? And the bottom line was, I was here for a paycheck. That was it. I was here to finance my business. Okay. I was the worst employee forever. I mean, I did my job, but in terms of the way that I thought about things, if I'm getting paid this, I know my manager's getting more than me. Who's doing the work? Who's generating the revenue? And I've usually been in the sales capacity, lead generation capacity. So I'm like, I'm the one doing the work. So when I was working for AAA National and dealing with hotels and dealing with attractions and events, and my territory was from Washington, D.C. all the way up to northern New Jersey, right at the border of New York City. And I did have a couple of accounts in New York. So I'm at all these hotels, convention centers, and different places all over the place. And I've made great relationships with a lot of these companies. And they were like, man, AAA is great and all for advertising, but nobody really uses the AAA travel books anymore. It's online. Can you help us with online stuff? And of course, I was like, yeah, I can. It's going to be a conflict of interest. And it just got to the point where I was like, you know what? I got too many people out here asking me to help them with their digital marketing and generating business and traffic to their properties, where I got to go, man. It didn't make sense anymore. So I left. And I started a digital marketing agency along with something else that I was doing because I had the contact. So I leveraged where I was to help me start my business. So if you're in that situation right now where you're looking to start your business and you're in a situation that can leverage or help you jump off, then do that. Don't steal anybody's, information or resources. I'm not saying that. But if you have a contact database and you happen to leave, make sure you put that in your bag or you make a copy of it. Hey, I just left AAA. I'm doing my own digital marketing. I got tons of customers. And the reason I started that digital marketing agency was because they kept asking me. And I knew that the products and stuff I was selling was doo-doo. It was garbage, And I don't want to hit AAA because people know AAA just for the car service. Your car breaks down. But AAA is really an OTA, an online travel agency, but you would never know it. You can go to AAA.com and book trips just like Expedia, Kayak, or whatever, but they never wanted to market it like that, which for the life of me was nonsense. I'm getting on a tangent here, but what I'm saying is if you have to go back to corporate America because your dream is deferred, leverage what you're learning, leverage your contacts and your resources. So when you're ready to step out again, it'll help you propel you to be more successful more quickly. All right. Now, what is the alternative? What's the alternative if you do let your dreams die? What's going to happen, right? Normally what happens is you're not going to be living your purpose and you're not going to be living in your genius. And I always tell you, your genius is the intersection of your passion and your talent. Most people just don't know how to monetize that. So if you're able to monetize the intersection of your passion and your talent, that would probably be the space that you would live the rest of your life in, and you would live like no other. I'm blessed to be able to say I'm living in my genius right now. If you want more information on that, go to the website, blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. On the homepage, it's a course. It's called Pinpoint and Monetize Your Genius. It's also an episode, which is episode 199. It's one of the shortest episodes out there, but it's the most downloaded episode I have. Episode 199, Pinpoint and Monetize Your Genius. So if you're having an issue right now, working for somebody else, not living your entrepreneurial dreams, or you let your entrepreneurial dreams die like my dad did, go to episode 199 first, and then go to the website and look at the outline of Pinpoint and Monetize Your Genius. What I'm talking about right now is when you don't follow your dreams, what are the alternatives? So you're not going to be living in your purpose and you're not going to be living in your genius. You're also probably going to be unfulfilled, doing work and doing things just for the money that gives you no fulfillment. And how long can you do this? What amazes me is what people will do for money, going to work every day to a job they can't stand with people they don't even like to get a paycheck. If you're going to put that much effort into something, my God, put some effort into trying to figure out a way to make money where you're fulfilled. OK, I don't understand where the switch came when people used to do for themselves. 17, back in the day, 1700s, whatever. You plant in your own garden, you have your own animals, you do this and that. But then when the Industrial Revolution came, it became easier for somebody to go work at a steel mill than to go out and raise their own hogs, pigs, chickens, whatever, and also farm and farm and get food. And it got to the point where it was easier to put your overalls on and go down to GM or Ford and let them give you a living. I was telling my wife the other day, that's a sad thing, man. And I get it. Everybody's not an entrepreneur. But if you're an entrepreneur and you're built like that, what you're allowing people to do is control you. Like I just did a show. Whoever pays you controls you, right? There are people listening right now. I think this is going to drop right after Thanksgiving holiday. There are probably people right now that couldn't go home and visit their family or friends because they didn't have time off from work. That's because somebody controls you. These are some of the things that happen when you don't follow your entrepreneurial dreams. Okay. And I got off on a tangent, but I told you today's show is going to be a little bit different. So we're talking about right now, when you don't follow your dreams, what are the alternatives? Not living your purpose, being unfulfilled, working a job So just for the money, doing things you don't want to do because you haven't found another alternative. I've done that, probably done all of these things. You're always wondering, what if? What if? That's what my dad basically was saying. What if? Man, I wish I would have jumped back into the business world, and who knows what would have happened. Worst case scenario, you'd have been the same place, you'd have failed again, and guess what? You'd be where you were. Or guess what else could happen? You could be successful. You could have hit it. And I just did an episode where all it takes is one, guys. You're probably going to have multiple businesses that you start that are going to fail, but all it takes is one to hit. And that one can propel you to levels you probably never dreamed of. Next, you're probably not living up to your potential if you're not working in your genius. Most people tend to flourish when they're working on something that they love and something that they're good at. If you may be good at something, but how much of your heart are you really giving to it? I know most people, as an employer, do just enough work to get paid. Now, there's some people that go above and beyond, but the normal person, man, I'm going to do enough just to get paid so the boss won't come down on me. I always talk about human nature. Human nature is a force that you can't reckon with, okay? So people are going to do just enough not to get fired. What you want to do, guys, is you really want to use all the tools that God gave you to maximize your potential. Like I said, looking at my dad that day, and we've talked about it before he passed, numerous occasions. And it's funny because I think as he got older, he started reflecting on his life, some of his regrets, and all types of other stuff. And I think you don't want to go out like that. Even if you're not successful as an entrepreneur, damn, try it. Try it. Go balls to the wall. See what happens. You may be surprised. You may surprise yourself. And here's a couple of questions you want to ask yourself too. What is your dream? What's my dream? Not the dream that somebody else has for you. Oh yeah, I was watching something on TV the other day, and my wife and I looked at each other like these fools on TV were crazy. There was this black guy, older black dude, who I think he was in Atlanta. He was in Atlanta, and he always wanted to be a police officer. And so he couldn't become a police officer at the time because of segregation. I think this was like the 50s or 60s or whatever. And so he told his son, your job is to become an Atlanta police officer to fulfill my dream. Now, the son went and did it, and he seems to enjoy it. But you got to ask yourself, what is your dream? Not what's your dad's dream, your mom's dream for your life, your sisters, brothers, your wife, your husband, your spouse, your partner, whoever. What is your dream? And that dream may change as you go along, but you need to let your loved ones know what your dreams are. Because sometimes they don't even want to go along with you. They may be like, man, this fool is crazy. I'm off. I'm out. Peace, deuces. And other times they may be, yo, I got you. Let's roll. But ask yourself, what is your dream? Not anybody else's. What is your dream? Next question you want to ask yourself, what does my dream life look like, and why am I not pursuing it? What does your dream life look like? And, you always want to be able to dream. Like I said, when your dreams die, you die. So your dream life may be you living in Hawaii on a beachfront property, doing e-commerce, exercising 4 hours a day, going out, eating lunch, you and your spouse or partner out there, your kids. What does your dream life look like? And there's no reason you can't have it, guys. There's no reason you can't have your dream life. Okay. And the last question is, what steps can you take to get there? What steps can you take to get there? So the three questions are, what is my dream? What does my dream life look like? And why am I not pursuing it? And the last question, what steps can I take to get there? It's all right there in front of you guys. I'm telling you right now, in today's landscape with the technology, it is so much easier to build a successful business and be an entrepreneur. You literally could be in your basement with slides on in your underwear, making millions of dollars, literally. When I came into the game, and I've been a serial entrepreneur before it was cool to be a quote unquote founder. I left corporate America making six figures back in the 90s, and people were like, yo, you're insane. I ain't gonna tell you what they really said. I'm trying to keep this thing PG. But but you're insane. And really, man, I had to live what my dream was. Because when you're working for somebody else, you're fulfilling that company's dream. Whoever started that company, that corporation, that was their dream. Their dream was to build a multinational conglomerate called Nike or Adidas. That's Phil Knight's dream, Nike's dream, right? That was his dream, to build a sneaker company. Now he's branched out. And here's the other thing, guys. You don't know where your business is going to take you, what industries you're going to get into. So the three questions you have to ask yourself: what is your dream? What does your dream life look like? And why aren't you pursuing it? And number three, what steps can you take to get there? Remember, when your dream dies, guys, you also die. Now, the quote that I talked about earlier, I want to read that again, by Stuart Scott, who was formerly at ESPN. It says, don't downgrade your dream just to fit your reality. Don't downgrade your dream just to fit your reality. Upgrade your conviction to match your destiny. That means you got to put work in. Upgrade your conviction to match your destiny. What's your destiny? What commitment do you have to make this entrepreneurial dream come true? It may require you cutting out PlayStation 3 hours a night. You might not be able to go out, hang out with the fellas every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You might not be able to watch TV, every night. You may have to come home from your 9 to 5 and work from 6 to 11 every night to build your business. When you look at successful entrepreneurs, there's always a cost. There's a price that's paid. The question is, are you willing to pay the price? If you're not, game over. It's a wrap. You might as well quit right now. But if you have the conviction, if you want your entrepreneurial dreams to come true, then you have to put in the work. Now, it's funny. They always say work smarter, not harder. And I definitely agree with that. So you have technology. You can leverage technology. You can leverage relationships. There's all types of ways to make money, guys. But remember, if you don't put the action behind it, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. In terms of, before we get to the last quarter of the show, I'm going to close it out shortly. If you want to connect with me, I'm going to give you the shortcut today. Go to blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. When you go on the website, which we spend a lot of money and a lot of time on, go under the About tab, right? And all of my social media contact information is there. But anything long, if you want to connect with me, jjones@blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. Let me just give these out real quick. Facebook, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Twitter, jjones001. JAYJONES001. Instagram, jjones for real. JAYJONES, the number 4, REAL. I have a second IG account, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Hit the YouTube button, type in Black Entrepreneur Blueprint and hit subscribe. LinkedIn, J Jones, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Clubhouse, I ain't really on there, at I am J Jones. So those are the ways to connect with me for my social media. All of the resources, when you go to blackentrepreneurblueprint.com, hit the learn button. And when the learn button drops down, there'll be all types of different verticals there. There's resources on marketing, strategy and mindset, e-commerce, scaling your business, all types of resources that we spent hours on hours gathering and providing for you. So if you go to the website, blackentrepreneurblueprint.com, all the online courses, Pinpoint and Monetize Your Genius, BEB Academy, Brand Builder Academy, my books, the whole ecosystem is on that, blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. We want that to be the website for Black entrepreneurs to get resources. All right, now the last portion of the show, guys, before I play Tracy Chapman's Fast Car, I just want to implore you, because I've seen over these 20 plus years as a serial entrepreneur, I've seen the gambit, the highs, the lows, almost lost it all twice, was blessed to be able to make 2 comebacks with multi-million-dollar businesses. And I've been everywhere, in top, bottom, and in between. I know what it is. I'm talking from experience, not theory. I know sometimes it gets hard. I know sometimes your loved ones are against you, not necessarily fighting you, but they don't understand. So if your money gets funny, your spouse, partner, whatever, a lot of times that's a big issue. So that's something that needs to be addressed. But you got to keep plugging away, because once you turn the corner and that money starts coming in, then the whole thing changes. Oh, I knew you could do it. Oh, yeah. You ain't sound like that a couple of months ago. But you got to understand that's people's emotions. See, most people work off of emotions. Entrepreneurs, when it comes to their business, we can't work off of emotion. We got to work off of fact. We got to work off of feeling. We got to work off of intuition. Okay? When things get tough, most people are like, oh man, I got to go get a job at UPS slinging packages over Christmas. Now, you may have to do that, but the question is that $120 a week going to really make the difference that you needed to make, or do you need chunks of money? So I remember one time my wife was like, you need a part-time job. And I knew my business was right on the cusp of breaking. I knew it. I just had to keep putting in the work, because it's not instantaneous. And she was like, you need to get a part-time job. I said, I ain't getting no part-time job. And this was years ago. I said, because I know I got to keep my focus and this energy on everything here. So if I'm working overnight from 11 to 7, guess what? Jay Jones isn't going to have the energy to work all day on his business and focus like he normally would. So that $100, $200 a week, what does that really mean if I can sell one of these ads and make $200 in 20 minutes? And so when the thing popped, she was like, oh, I get it now. Yeah. Like I said, there's entrepreneurs and then there's civilians, and we speak a totally different language. And because your spouse, partner, or your loved ones may not understand or see the inner workings of your business, they may not know that it's just like a sales funnel. You put in all the work. Now you're waiting for that funnel to start paying dividends. They can't see that. Now, if you're sitting home, scratching your butt all day, watching TV, eating cookies or whatever, guess what? It ain't going to work for you. So once again, guys, don't let your entrepreneur dreams die. If you're committed to this thing, man, go in hard, put everything that you have in it, your soul, your heart, everything that you have, because I'm telling you, when you get to the point where your business starts to show you love and you continue to build and grow, you're going to be in a place that you can never imagine. I'm living in my genius right now, the intersection of my passion and my talent, and I'm monetizing it. And there is no better place to be, but I wouldn't be here without the failures, without the setbacks, without almost losing it all twice, because that is part of the process. Guys, I say this each and every week, but we get more and more downloads because of you, the BEB family. We couldn't do it without you guys. I have so much love and appreciation for the BEB family. Please continue to spread the word about the podcast, the BlackEntrepreneurBlueprint.com website. We want to make that the resource for Black entrepreneurs, the online courses, the ecosystem, the books, and everything. Because once again, it's not about me. It's not about you. It's about us. It's about building an economic power base in the worldwide Black community by building and supporting Black-owned businesses. Stay tuned for Tracy Chapman's Fast Car. Listen to the words. Love you guys. See you same time next week. Peace.
Get a fast car. I want a ticket to anywhere. Maybe we make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better. Starting from zero, got nothing to lose. Maybe we'll make something. Me, myself, I got nothing to prove. You get a fast car. I got a plan to get us out of here. Been working at the convenience store. Managed to save just a little bit of money. Won't have to drive too far. Just across the border and into the city. You and I can both get jobs and finally see what it means to be living. See, my old man's got a problem. Yeah, with the bottle, that's the way it is. He says his body's too old for working. His body's too young to look like his. My mama went off and left him. She wanted more from life than he could give. I said, somebody's got to take care of him. So I quit school and that's what I did. You got a fast car. Is it fast enough so we can fly away? We gotta make a decision. Leave tonight or live and die this way. So I remember when we were driving in your car. Speed so fast I felt like I was drunk. City lights lay out before us, and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder. And I had a feeling that I belonged. Had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. You got a fast car. We go cruise and entertain ourselves. Still ain't got a job. Now work in the market as a checkout girl. I know things will get better. You'll find work and I'll get promoted. We'll move out of the shelter, buy a bigger house and live in the suburbs. So I remember when we were driving in your car. Speed so fast I felt like I was drunk. City lights lay out before us, and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder. And I had a feeling that I belonged. Had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. You got a fast car. I got a job that pays all our bills. Instead of drinking late at the bar, see more your friends than you do your kids. I'd always hope for better. Thought maybe together you and me find it. I got no plans, I ain't going nowhere. So take your fast car and keep on driving. So I remember when we were driving in your car. Speed so fast I felt like I was drunk. City lights lay out before us, and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder. And I had a feeling that I belonged. Had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. You got a fast car. Is it fast enough so you can fly away? You gotta make a decision. Leave tonight or live and die this way.